use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description.
So I think those are the two biggest implications with the Omni Negates gone, and Branded obviously not getting hit, and then also the Snake Eye cards kind of getting really hit, but like Fire King still probably being one of the best decks. Like there's more options coming back into the game, and a lot of rogue decks are kind of just got cratered with Baron getting banned. So I feel like with that being said, I think Branded is in an extraordinarily good spot right now. I do think that Droll and Lock Bird is going to be an option, or is going to be at YCS Raleigh a lot for the people at Raleigh and the people going into this format. I feel like Droll is going to be a good option. You will see I am not on Droll today with the side deck. I chose to opt not to go for too many hand traps because of the fact that you know, obviously we're on 60 cards. So with that preamble out of the way, I know I'm always long with that. 3 Albaz, 3 Aluber. This didn't really change. Nothing really to say here. We're at 60 cards. I want to max out on consistency. And then 3 Cartesia. This is something I kind of debated a little bit from 2 to 3. I just hate drawing 2 Cartesias, but she's just like, you want to see this card. So, and at 60 cards, you don't see her all the time if she's at 2. So I feel like 3 is kind of what you have to run at 60. 2 Quem is definitely what you have to run at 60 as well, but that's not in effect. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. It's one of those things where it just increases your lines, and it also just it makes your grind game just so much better when you're able to go Branded Opening on your opponent's turn as an offensive thing. You have another target for Grand Guignol, and it's also just like one of the best combo pieces in the deck because we're also unbranded in High Spirits. That's why we're also running the kit right now. I think that kit is very good in this kind of build because we are going to be using Retribution a lot. We're going to be, so I like to recur Retribution, then also High Spirits with Sprined is a nice little combo that can basically get you really a lot of advantage because we are on Nadirs somewhere in the deck. We'll show you, are they in the main or side? You'll have to keep watching to find out. Or at least skipping through the video if you're watching the pre-recorded video. But I think that Spriggan's kit really does enable a lot more combo lines with this deck as well. So her recurability, the fact she's a dark, and she's just a good extender. She can put a card back in the deck if you like need to make Patchwork live. If you work on that, this isn't like a horrible application for that. So I think that just kind of explains those pretty easily. And we're going to talk much more about the format with Nightfall too. So here is 2 Tragedies, 1 Mercurier. I think that this is something I love. 2 Mercurier, as you guys know, shout out to Raul. I think 2 Mercurier allows you to do a lot. And I think Brand Sword and 2 Mercurier is something that this deck profile's future could consider. But for right now, I do think that 2 Tragedy is just quite better. I think 2 Tragedy allows you to have a lot more consistency. Obviously, we are on Allure too, so just having the ability, and we're also on Patchwork. So we are having the ability to plus off of your spells, off of like Poly, Fusion, Duplicate, or Deployment. Super important. This thing could go to 3. I've saw people like Pack try out 3 in their deck. I think that as a build that's still aiming to do, you know, you're trying to loot Mirror Jade, you're trying to also set up boards that are unbreakable through like Draco Stapelia with Mercurier, and then also a gimmick puppet in between, that you really don't need to have the 1 Mercurier. I do think in this format though, you got to think about this. Nibiru is going to get a lot better in this format. So Nibiru is a card that is going to get an uptick now with all the combo decks not being able to play under Nibiru now. Also 44 people watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Shout out Nightfall for tweeting out the stream. Make sure to leave a like if you have not already. We're talking branded Despia post ban list after this with Nightfall, but now we're just doing the post ban list deck profile. So I think that with Nibiru becoming more prevalent, that Mercurier could be up to 2 for sure, or even a branded sword to recur the Mercurier and then have better combo lines in order to play under Nib better. However, I think branded Despia at the moment actually has a really good way to play through Nib and play over Nib. I'm running double Grand Guignol, I'm running the Nadirs on the side, I'm running High Spirits. There's a lot of ways, and like Thrust as well. So I think that our ways to play through that doesn't make me need to run more Mercurier, but it's something to consider in the future for sure. And something to just keep in mind, there will be more nibs, I think. Like, nib is so free now. There will be more board breakers. There will be more nibs now. Then 3 Shrouded Dragon. We're still on, you know, we love Upstart Goblin +1. And then also just it being a dark bridge with high spirits is so important. This is like easily your best bridge with high spirits. It's so good. So yeah, no, that's why we're running 3 of it. Also, just having an extra name in the graveyard is super important when you're using Lubellion, because you can spin back the Shrouded and then keep the actual Elbaz in the graveyard for Rinbrum. That comes up a lot when you run 3 Shrouded. So there's a lot more utility than just running the 3 Shrouded. Rin, I want to play Dragon Ruler. Bad idea. I would wait until Dragon Ruler, all the Dragon Rulers are back to 3 before trying out Dragon Ruler, like the TC or the Master Duel. Nightfall TCG branded kind of too good. Yeah, exactly. I think so too, because like board breakers got better with, you know, Baron and Savage being the banes of everybody's existence. Like, I wasn't able to run Lightning Storm the last couple formats because I'm like, they're just gonna negate it immediately. I'm not gonna be able to play into the board state to make it live, because that's not how Lightning Storm works. Now Lightning Storm's just gonna be live. Like, that's crazy to me. So very much looking forward to that, and that's why I think we're gonna have a very good time this format. We're just gonna have to build correctly and then like do a correct meta call for Raleigh in particular. I do think that we're gonna be seeing an uptick in purrely, so we're gonna have to be able to deal with purrely. We don't have Elba Dogmatica System yet, guys. Our best purrely out. The last branded boss monster that everyone told me is bad, but is actually like looking amazing now with 2 Delicious. I'm not saying amazing, because frankly purrely is probably not going to take off and be a top 5 deck, but I said on the stream I think it would be a top 5 deck with Delicious. We'll see. I think upon further look, it's not going to be a top 5 deck, but like it'll probably definitely be a top 10 deck. So I think that it's going to warrant at least something, you know, an option in the deck to play around it. So yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So 3 Saranir, 1 Lubellion, 1 Magnamut. I still think the Bestials going into this format are going to be amazing. You might see an upsurge of Labyrinth. I kind of doubt it, because obviously Fire King was their worst matchup, so I think Labyrinth still gets checked by that. However, I think that Saranir, or these things still prove to be very good. Obviously, now the Fire decks are going to definitely be doing the Apo plays every single time. So it's like these cards, most likely, unless that's just a bad meta call, but we'll see. But you know, you'll still want to banish the IP Masquerade. Obviously, you do have the branded. I think branded's going to be a top 3 deck, but we'll see how that happens, or how that pans out. You know, if people can perform with the deck or not. But I think that, you know, Raleigh is frankly branded's deck to win. So I think that having the Bestials gives you a good matchup in the mirrors. It gives you a really good matchup into Voiceless. It's pretty good. At least it gives you a body versus fire. You know, will end up stopping the Apo play, or like the SP play at the very least, you know. I was like debating maybe on less, but we're running 3 high spirits, so if you're running 3 high spirits, you have to just max out on them like this. I wouldn't run a Druid Swarm though. It's just like way too going second in the main deck rather. 1 Gimmick Puppet. Sanctifier didn't get banned, so we're still running it. Yeah. Then Double Edge. Oh yeah, and also I saw some people talk about Gimmick Puppet being bad, like in a couple months maybe, even with Gimmick Puppet coming out itself. And while Gimmick Puppet looks good, I don't think it's going to be a tier 1 deck. I also think it's going to be more of a gimmick than anything, and also I think if it's going to be anywhere near tier 1, Konami is going to do something about it very fast. So I don't think that's going to invalidate Gimmick Puppet. I still think Gimmick Puppet is branded's best option until we get something else. You guys are going to see I'm not on Adlib this build. I think Adlib has been super unnecessary for me lately. It's always like, if it's there, it's nice. It's nice, but it's never game defining. So I took out the ad-lib. I think like Nightfall got me to cut the ad-lib, but yeah, no, we didn't. Or it was Yuri or Nightfall. So shout out to Yuri too. He also did help me with this list very much. Shout out Yuri. We love Yuri Diaz. Standard 60, hell yeah. Pondboy 47, hey boys, this list seems pretty good for us. I'm optimistic. I agree. How you doing, Pondboy? Hope you're having a good day. Long John Silver might try water now that we got title, but Branded might been the goo. Nightfall got the spice. Yes sir, yes sir. Maxi, I'm watching solo leveling. Dub. Very nice. Have fun with that, brother. 42 people watching, I appreciate it. King Bobby, branded best deck. Let's go. Konami banning Albion is actually hilarious. I agree. It's hilarious insofar as like the rage it induces into the people who just really hate Gimmick Puppet. So we have 2 Fright for Patchworks and a Poly, and then 2 Edgem Chains. So I debated hard on even cutting these because of the new format, you know. Oh gosh, the music is a little loud, but yeah, no, I definitely thought about cutting these. I was like, okay, so Droll is looking a lot more desirable now because Fire King just folds to Droll. So what, and then Voiceless also does, and the current iterations of Branded also get hit by Droll because a lot of us are playing into it. This is something not a lot of people are talking about, and I'm going to continue not to talk about, but until at least Raleigh, but you know, that's enough of me saying that. Anyways, I think this card does play into Droll. However, you can play around Droll. You can do something where you can do your most important play first. You can actually start being conscious of that with the information that Droll is back on the menu probably. So, but I think that these are way too free. These cards combo way too well with Alert, and they combo way too well with High Spirits because they provide bridges for High Spirits so that all your hands with High Spirits are live, which is super important for that card. I wouldn't run High Spirits if I didn't run this card, this engine, frankly. I don't think this engine's good, or High Spirits is good enough, or you see enough hands with High Spirits elsewise, unless you like really do build your deck to work well with it. I just think this smooths it out, and then also gives you board breaking capability, making that untargetable. Chimera is super good. Guardian Chimera is super good, so I think that's super important still. You know, going into Chimera first to break a board is one of your best plays, one of your best starting plays. You always want to start with like board breaking tip number 1 with Branded. You want to go like, you know, search a card, bait an effect or something, and then start going into Guardian Chimera, you know, get to Lost, preferably try to do a Lost Guardian Chimera play, and then do your things. You know, you're able to bait a lot, enforce a lot of interaction through going through Guardian Chimera first, and these cards really just enable that very well. 51 viewers right now, guys. We love the new format, folks. We love it. I appreciate you all spending your Monday with me. Please make sure to leave a like or a dislike if you're not enjoying the stream. Maxi Emeg, Shadal Dragon is not good. I guess we can talk about that when we get to my side deck, because I may or may not be on that card. Davis, can't wait to get D-Barrier. D-Barrier got worse because Baron and Savage got banned. Like, you're never calling Synchro again. Long John Silver and D-Barrier sided for sure. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Unless Lab starts cropping up, I don't think that's necessarily true. But something to keep in mind, unless Lab crops up, I would say you don't really have to cross out D-Barrier at the moment. But yo, Big Slaps, how's it going? Big Slap up for my boy. Apex Doffy, how's it going? How's it going? I think I missed your chat before. I'm testing both game One Piece and Fusion World. Well, I hope you have fun, brother. Thanks for coming through to the stream for right now. See you in a bit. I'm going to do some extensive testing for Fusion World. Have fun. King Bobby, Voiceless folds to Bestials. Yeah, exactly. If you just like hit the low with the Bestial, it's so good. So good. So having those main deck Bestials, they're basically quick effect. You know, they are your hand traps, but they're also very good combo pieces. So Nightfall TCG, can you make a mirror match guide, matchup guide for top decks? Yeah, no, that's Davis. Can you make a mirror match guide or a matchup guide for the top decks? Guide should be a gameplay mirror. Yeah, no, I mean, for sure, if it's like a mirror match guide, it should be gameplay. I think that'd be fun to do with Nightfall or like Raul or someone, or Yuri, or just like record the game and then I'll commentate and like do a guide with it. But I can do that, and then also we'll do we'll definitely do a matchup guide for the top decks. Thank you for reminding me. That is important now that we have the new format. All right, Raven on Twitch. Adlib seems unnecessary, to be honest. Thanks for watching on Twitch, Raven. Exclamation Twitch in the chat if you guys want to get to my Twitch and follow it. I'm at 51 followers. Let's get us to 100. Very much would appreciate it. Yeah, no, I agree. Adlib seems pretty unnecessary at the moment. Nightfall TCG. I think I'm going to do that on my channel as well. Yeah, dude, that would be very smart, and I think we would all love to hear that. Your opinions on, and you know, on the format. Long John Silver, I see people cutting Puppet and Sanctifier for more extra deck slots, just playing into boards and then to kill them Puppet lock. Yeah, no, I think that's very much a thing that you can do at the moment. I think that Puppet is still a guaranteed win though, so I don't know. And Sanctifier is also a broken card, but that's just where I stand on that. But in terms of our branded spell or trap cards, we're running 3 High Spirit, 3 Brand Fusion, 2 Red, 3 opening, 1 lost, 1 retribution. So I think that I'm going to, I really like 2 red. I think red comes up a lot, especially with 60 cards, because you're grinding through your deck a lot. So you're always going to be trying to combo and using red to extend. So it's really nice in grind games, this format. And I mean, it's going to be less of a hand trap format, but it's not like hand traps are going to go away. So, and then we see High Spirits also here. This is our best combo piece. It's basically our small world of the deck. It bridges to everything. So I definitely think that this is something that is very good in this deck when we're running so many darks or running all the Bestials. The Bestials work against all the top decks right now. Probably going into this format, I still think, like I said, the Bestials are very good, so this combos well with that. It also comes back to the hand, and there's really nice combos you can do with Sprined and Kit to just like generate a lot of advantage with this and Nadir Servant and just on its own too. Yeah, no, I definitely don't agree with cutting Pup overall. Raven, yeah, Droll usage is going to spike a bit. Yeah, completely agree. Yuri Diaz, Chimera's Babe. Yeah, no, Droll should definitely be coming back into the format, given the fact that all these, you know, decks are going to be searching a whole lot of cards. When in doubt, make the foreign Chimera. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With D-Berry is going to be in everyone's side for 10 pi. D-Berry, it stops 10 pi at OTKs too. I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true. Let's play the Mirror Nightfall. Yeah, no, that's a good point. So maybe we should be on D-Berry or Cross Out, but I don't know. I hate Cross Out. I think that's a bad card, to be honest. Devin Reeves, how's it going, brother? Droll is scary, but I feel like a build with this much gas can just fill up the graveyard and play with a lot of Cartesians in our quick plays. Yes, exactly. Like, with a quick play card, you can just chain a quick play to, you know, Droll resolving, and your opponent's gonna miss timing. Remember, it's a quick effect on Droll, not a trigger. So you can chain like Super Poly or Droplet before they can chain Droll, and Droll will miss the timing. So this is very important branded when you have a lot of quick plays. So make sure you guys remember that, especially if you're running these gas builds. Yuri Diaz, let's play Mirror Nightfall. For the giant card Quem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll record it. We'll do it on my channel. We'll do it live. King Bobby, Puppet guaranteed will until they win into the normal summon Robina. That's fair. I don't think there's going to be that much flu to matter to like force me off of it though, but you know, we'll side it out. And also that's why I say you don't go into Puppet immediately. You feel out the game. I feel like that will be quite correct. This format, Nick Lozix, Demifeels, good to have Brand Fusion on 3. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, and also I was thinking about running more Lost. I think that Lost is very good. I was thinking about running Branded Sword. That's something we could run with this build. I don't love the one Mercurier, so I think having a Brand Sword or a second Mercurier will definitely be what we do next. I think Brand Lost is a really good card that forces interactions. You could even going first or second. So I feel like having like 2 or 3 Branded Lost might be actually the play going forward, just because this is usually one of my best cards. So I was like thinking about siding 2 or 3. Things to consider. And then let's get to the generics, and then we can get this through. 3 deployment. This card's just nuts. 1 burial, 1 sark, 1 called by, because yeah, these cards are custom. 3 thrust. They do everything the deck needs it to. 3 thrusts, 1 fusion duplication, and 1 talents. I still like this ratio. I know I've seen people like Nightfall go to 3 talents. I think that is fine. I think that's quite good, and it might be even better this format. I just don't love seeing 2 talents in the same hand, so it's really just like a deck building philosophy decision on my hand, just to like cut down on bricks. So I think this card's really good and I'll be able to get through Thrust. But being at 60 cards, I could definitely see myself maybe upping this to 2 or 3. It just didn't make the cut for this build. But Thrust is a custom card as well. You need to be running it if you want to be running branded Despia at the highest level. And then we have 3 Allure of Darknesses. I still think this card is nuts, honestly. Draw power is really good. Seeing Allure into Mercury or Tragedy is basically like if you go Allure into Mercury into Tragedy and then go Patchwork, you're at 8 cards, and then if you hit any other one, like if you hit another Allure and do that again, you're at 9. So it's like there are so many opportunities with this build because of Allure of Darkness, because of Patchwork, because of not high spirits, but because of those cards that you're able to have 9 cards in hand. So I think that this card is very much well worth it. If we see people maining Droll a lot, I say that these cards can come out, okay? I'll say that right now at the beginning of the format. You know, I made a prediction last format. At the beginning of the format, people would be on Droll. People were on Droll at the beginning of the format, like early before it even started, and then people were basically not on Droll whatsoever. So I think that right now, people will be on Droll in the side decks at the most. And plus, like I said, we can play around Droll pretty well. And just like the advantage this gives you to break boards is just nuts. And then we have 3 Droplet. So PUR right there. So Droplet, it's either this or Super Poly. I think you need 1 quick play board breaker for the most part whenever you're playing branded. I think Super Poly is really potentially very good post Legacy of Destruction. This is more of a Raleigh build list, but I still think Droplet's the most versatile board breaker in the whole game. So I think that this is going to be a card I run no matter what in some capacity in my branded deck, like whether it's in the side or main. However, I do think with the lack of Omni Negates, this card does lose a bit of value. I still think with the Appaloosas and the SP Little Knights and such, this card's going to go pretty hard still. So we're still running that. I think I still need a Omni Negate, or sorry, a board breaker that's a quick play, so I can start playing around Droll as well. Like I mentioned before, in the build like this with more Drolls coming up, I think that's very important. And then this just card's ability to give you to OTK is just very good. So it's either this or Super Poly, but we aren't maining Nadir, so I feel like that's why Super Poly, I'm not running that. If we were maining Nadir, I would be on this. And that is the main deck. So that was the 60 card main deck. Yes, Juan Rodriguez is 60 cards. 44 people watching right now. Very much appreciated, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you have not already. So yeah, no, we will get into the extra deck now. 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, and 1 Lubellion. I feel like this is just fine ratio. I just feel like there will still be enough kashtira, like Unicorn's still at 3, where I'm gonna want 2 Mirror Jade. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. This deck's still looping Mirror Jade a lot of the time. We still have Sanctifier, we still have Queb, we still have Cartesia. It's very easy. This thing's a combo piece as well with Queb. It's very good. Titanclad, and also like I feel like Mirror Jade really struggles with normal summon Albaz with a lot of their boards, unless they just end on Apo. Unless they have Apo in first step of mains phase, like in which they don't half the time, normal summon Albaz just folds a Fire King board. So that's why I feel like this format also got better for branded in general, because of the fact I think we just had a better Fire King matchup. I know some people disagree with that. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna message someone right now. But what do you guys feel about what do you guys feel like? What changes are you guys making to your branded deck right now? I'm very curious to hear. Let me know down in the chat right now. All right, so yeah, no, that was pretty standard. And then Sanctifier. Can we let's get a close up for our boy. Let's get a close up for our boy. He's alive. He's alive. I want to play some party music, but I don't want to get copyright strikes, so we're not playing some party music. But just imagine some like rave like party music right now. Like that's what's going on in my mind right now. Sanctifier is the boy. He's one of the best cards in the deck. I think if you're playing a going first branded build, which we've seen a lot of going second builds with Pack, I do think I think that's pretty good. Board breaker build, it's looking pretty good. I'm not sure about the blind second build, but if you're running a build that's not blind second, I think that this card is non-negotiable runnable. Even if you're not running Gimmick Puppet, it's an interruption in your opponent's graveyard. It also gives you a body, and it recurs your Mirror Jade. It's also untargetable. It's really good against kashtira. It's 3000. It's very easily made. And its second effect is kind of broken in the grind game. So, you know, Sanctifier for life. I'm glad we still have it for another format. And I still think, like I said, Gimmick Puppet is our best. It's still our best going first play against the decks that it hits. So, we aren't on Colossus today. We'll talk about Colossus and if you should be running it or not. With Nightfall, and then also at the end of this, extra deck. 1 Rinbrum, 1 Sprined for the rest of the Albaz fusions. Sprined helps you combo. It's also a good fusion to make with Albaz off of like Rinbrum special summon because it just uses 1 effect monster that was special summoned this turn. Also, it can pop a face-up card in its column when it moves. It can move to any column, so it's also a Floodgate Destroyer sometimes, so it's not bad. But it's mainly there for the Sprined interaction and to send off of like Nadir or whatever, or through High Spirits. And then 2 Grand Gwiggy and 1 Querdus. I think that 2 Grand Gwignall has been pretty standard the last month or so. I think that it allows you to get a lot more combo lines. It's like really worth it for that reason alone. But I was always like of the mind that there was a good, you know, reason to run Grand Gwignall at 2 because of the grind game that it gives you. You know, you're able to go into your first Grand Gwignall, get a body, go into your second Grand Gwignall, get another body. That's super good, super important. Also, you know, generates you advantage. I think that's very good, but there's just like, you know, Nightfall showed us there's very much so many lines that just open up, including a 1-card branded fusion gimmick lock. If you guys want to go check that out, I do have a combo guide on my channel. Go look up my most recent combo guide. And yeah, guys, so I do think the Querdus is quite good still too. Obviously, Flamebridge can just slot it, but I don't know. I would never not run Querdus and, you know, Grand Gwignall just for life. So shout out to Yuri Diaz for sending me the CR always. The CR, I think this is Italian, or no, it's Spanish Guardian Chimera. Beautiful. This card's so good, especially with the Patchwork engine. This becomes untargetable. It's 3300. It pops a board. It's very good. Oh wait, where's my Titanclad? Did I not have a Titanclad? I forgot my Titanclad, guys. Well, we'll talk about that after Guardian Chimera. So Guardian Chimera is very good for getting over towers. It's very good for getting over stun boards. You run 2 red, you run the Patchworks, you're always able to get to Guardian Chimera before you do really anything, breaking a board. So I think that's very important, like I said, to start with Guardian Chimera when you're breaking a board with branded Despia. So, you know, depending on the board state, of course, obviously, you can, if you have other board breakers in mind, maybe not, but this card's very good, very versatile, and there's even, you know, shout out to Sam Zhang. I'm hopefully going to have him on for episode 2 of Branded Cast. I'm going to be uploading episode 1 of Branded Cast here probably Wednesday or Thursday. And first guess was Nightfall if you saw it live. You know, you were here. Shout out Nightfall. And then, so yeah, you could run 2. Though he ran 2 and it looked pretty good and upped his stun chances. I feel like I'm running Borreload Savage, so I don't need 2. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And then 1 Titanclad. So we have to run Titanclad, especially now with Purrely, but this was always non-negotiable when you're running Quem. So it's very good. There's arguments to run Adlib right now because of Purrely as well with Titanclad, so you can make the Titanclad able to kill over the you know, a 4300 Noir. Also Nibiru, also just maining the Nibiru, so you have a high level Titanclad. There might be some, you know, shout out to Yuri for that idea. There might be some merit to that this format. For right now, we aren't running the Adlib, we aren't running the Nibiru in the main deck, so that's, you know, something to consider, guys. And then 1 Stapelia, because this card's just so good. If you're running the Patchwork engine, you have to run Stapelia, in my opinion, because there's so many times where you have like a Grand Gwignall on board plus like a Patchwork in hand, and you can just go Stapelia or into Stapelia for free. And put Grand Gwignall in the graveyard where it's more protected, where it's an interruption. Obviously, it can get Bestial, but like, oh well. However, I think this thing's very good still. It's very free. It's very good into Shifter decks. I think that Shifter didn't go to 2 or 1s or get into, and it didn't get banned. So I think that's very good card to run right now. But it's definitely one of the more cuttable cards in the extra deck. So if you need some room, you know. And then Borreload Furious Dragon. I'm still running this because you just saw Runic Stun win a regional in LA, a huge regional, and that list did not run any floodgates that were on the ban list. That deck is going to be basically untouched. Runic Fountain's still at 2. That deck's going to be very good. You're going to need something to play into stun this format. Magnum the Reliever, Borreload Furious Dragon, or a second Guardian Chimera are kind of the things you're looking at. So I think that Borreload Furious is definitely just very good in this deck. We aren't running Branded in white right now. It's something we could consider with Borreload though, because Branded white's very free with Borreload. Branded in white is very free with Borreload Furious, so I feel like maybe that's something that we can consider in a updated build. And the YCS winning build you guys are going to get next week. 55 people watching right now. How's it going? How's it going? I appreciate you guys. Everyone retweeting the stream on Twitter is helping out. So, side deck here. We are going to also shout out to Starlight Grand Guignol token. We love it. So we have 3 Bestials. We're running 2 Druid Swarm and a Baldrake. This could honestly be 3 Druid Swarm. I just think having a Baldrake gives you a little bit. So the theory is so you don't just like brick on multiple Druid Swarms, so you can use multiple Bestial effects in the same turn. That's very important because they're all hard once per turns. So I think Druid Swarm is very good for breaking boards, whereas Baldrake is very good for setting up a board. So it's like a going second thing with High Spirits too, to just like help, or going first where you can like help set up a interruption through Baldrake. I think Bestials, like I said, are very good right now. So I think having 3 in your side deck right now is pretty standard still going forward. So this is what we're running, but this could be 3 Druid Swarm. Thoughts on Magnum and Furious Dragon? Yeah, I think I just basically talked about it. I mean, I think Magnum's worse than Furious, so I'm not gonna... Long John Silver, I'm gonna flex into the Discord real quick because I'm happy with these pickups. I'll check that out after the deck profile. Aquarius is crazy in the Voiceless matchup. Helps a ton. Doing good. Thanks for asking earlier, man. I'm on 3 High Spirits and 3-star Nadir package as well. I really like the philosophy of how these cards work together. It can get you in the engine for the deck. Completely agree. Cut the Nadir package, adding Masquerade and Tier Shiren. Of however you... Yeah, Tearlaments Shiren is very cool. It's something I've actually considered for this main deck. That was another card I was considering for this main deck, but I feel like you need to run a few other things for Shiren to be really like viable, so I'm not running it in this build. But Shiren is definitely a very good card, I think, for Branded right now. I probably should have had it in this list, but like I'm not gonna put something in I don't believe in. So Dark Ruler No More at 1. So this is also something I'm not totally certain on, because there's going to be less Omni Negates, but this is like my Kashtira insurance. Like Kashtira should still be a deck. Like it did lose Baron, but it's still very, like, I think this card will get over all my Kashtira issues. And just having it as a thrust target's very good. So that's what we're having at 1. I think this card kind of got worse with the Baron Savage negate or ban. So obviously that's why you ran this card in the past. So something to consider. It might not be there in the final build kind of thing. 1 Shaddoll Dragon. We talked about this earlier with Maxi. So Shaddoll Dragon good right now in Branded Despia. I would say it depends on the build, because we're not running Cosmic Cyclones in the side deck. I think that Konami basically banning, semi-limiting anti-spell fragrance and then banning summon limit made it so you don't have to run Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twister anymore as a, like, you have to do that, because if they just flip summon limit or anti-spell on you when you're starting a chain with a spell or monster card, you lose. So I feel like having a Shaddoll Dragon just to have a in-engine out for the Runic stun decks for like one of their back row is very good. I can keep bringing it back to Constellate Pop. It's very good in the Labyrinth matchup. It's also a dark. So I think it's pretty good. It's pretty justified. Something we could potentially cut, but I do like it right now. Freaks Gaming can't afford the additional Quem, so I'm sticking with the 44 card build. You don't need 2 Quem. 2 Quem's nice. It's like a luxury. It's a luxury more than anything. Long John Silver, I've been testing both Borel and Magnum. How do you like it? I like having both sometimes too, but I think you only really need like 2 options right now, especially with like the, especially with the lack of these floodgates that just got banned. Like I said, we don't need Cosmic anymore. That's why I think we can run more general board breakers like these beautiful babies. 2 Lightning Storm, a Feather Duster. I still need an ulti. And then 3 evenly matched. I think these cards got so much better post-Banlist because of the fact that Evenly Matched now doesn't have anything to just arbitrarily negate it. Lightning Storm doesn't have it either. That's what we were talking about before. So I think that the fact of the matter is Evenly Matched is extraordinarily free. I think Rescue Ace is going to get better because, you know, obviously it barely was hit from the ban list. Obviously, they got hit by Linkuriboh, but, like, their builds weren't really doing too much Linkuriboh shenanigans. They can still do Anima. So I think that Evenly Matched is very free in that matchup. It's very free against Fire King. It's very free against now Snake Eye, unless they end up going into other Omni Negates. We'll see. That's to be determined. Don't roast me if that ends up not panning out, but I think that having these general board breakers are very good right now. I think that board breaking in Despia is very good. For that reason, we also have Herald the Abyss as a board breaker, but it's really just for purrely. But I think that this package of cards, you know, the Lightning Storms just being able to, in the start of your main phase, essentially, you know, just choosing not to go Bestial, you know, you're going to be able to pop all the Voiceless Voice. Or actually, no, well, it's really good into Voiceless Voice because, I mean, sometimes it's good. It really just depends. Because, like, obviously they have an Omni Negate. However, all these other decks that just lost their Omni Negate, this is very good against. Hybris Feather Duster has always been very good. I was running this last format, continuing to run it this format, and like I said, Herald the Abyss, you just kind of need it right now for purrely. It depends if purrely ends up not panning out as well as I thought. I would not be running it. Thoughts on Phantasme? I like Phantasme. I actually think Phantasme is very good this format. However, I'm not going to run a card that I have yet to resolve, as I, funny enough, have yet to resolve a Phantasme, even in testing. So, and I've ran this card at regionals before. It just never comes up. So, or I never draw it. So, I think that Phantasme would be very good in the side deck because of the High Spirits bridges. So, if you have good luck with Phantasme, run Phantasme. I don't. Yeah, Phantasme should be very good. There's still going to be a lot of Link decks. Last three cards in the side deck are 3 Nadir Servant. I think that, you know, there's no more summon limit. You don't have, you know, you don't have your going first option anymore in terms of a floodgate. You know, they took away Tikaboo from us. So I think that Nadir Servant still is a very good option for us for going first for playing through hand traps. We aren't running the Maximus, but obviously if we get Ash, okay, we send Albion Titanclad, we still play the game, we search a Quem, very good. That's my boy Sanctifuego. Yes sir, yes sir. Testing Magic Deflector in the side. How do you like Magic Deflector? That was something we were considering last format. Thorben 40 card main, standard 3x thrust 1 talents. CDAC, where are you guys not running 2 or 3 Bestial Lubellion? Smooths out High Spirits more, and Bestial Lubellion Quem is full combo. Because you don't want to, I mean, like, it makes High Spirits like better, but it's a brick. You don't want to see multiple, right? And you can always get through it. Like, you can literally like, like Nightfall said, it sucks going second, but I think Nightfall answered that. Freaks Gaming, I just happened across because I've been out of the hospital for the last 6 months and wanted to see where the format is at. Well, I hope you're doing okay, Freaks Gaming. Sending love to you. Hope you're doing okay. And I wish you luck with your recovery. But yeah, no, the format is kind of on its head. I hope we have a good format for Nats. That's all I'm going to say. 45 people watching right now. Very much appreciate it, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you have not already. We do have those links down below. I also have those channel memberships. Click today to the join button if you want to come and join, you know, and support the channel for $5 a month. You get a hold of the coaching group chat. You also will get access to all my deck lists before I post them on here. You also get to ask me any question. You know, you get coaching advice as well in that group chat. We have a nice little community going in there. And you get to support the channel too. Also, using my TCG player affiliate link, bookmark that, and you're able to give me a kickback on all your purchases that cost you no additional to your payment, and it helps support the channel. So West Virginia's finest. I just made it in coach. No Colossus Dragon. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. No Colossus Dragon. I think that I wanted to give more of a pure build, right? I just uploaded a branded Despia, branded Thunder Dragon build. I'm not gonna add it into this build. However, I think that I could have been siding it. I think Colossus is very good into shifter decks. So you could actually side a like Thunder Dragon Dark package plus Hawk plus a Colossus in the side deck and into shifter decks. and that would work out. Because if you watch my deck profile from earlier today, go watch it if you have not already. We're almost at 4K views on that video, under 12 hours. Very much appreciate it. But I show off a combo in there. Shout out to Raul Sanders for making that combo, where you end on Stapelia Colossus under Shifter with just a branded fusion and a discard. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? Like, am I just crazy? Is that sounds pretty good, right? So, one rod Yuri, guys, I think Magnum is better than Furious. It's easier to make and draw and recycle, can be good. I mean, I think there's arguments, but Magnum also is reactive. That's why I think Furious is way better. And like Nightfall depends on you play. I make Borreload almost every match. Yeah, exactly. I think Borreload is just like so good. Like it's like almost like it's better than Mirror Jade in certain scenarios. Shadal Dragon OP. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yuri, you need to get me on a Spanish ultra rare, brother. Raleigh. Also, if anyone's going to Raleigh this weekend, come up and say hi to me. I'll be at the event both Saturday and Sunday. I'll probably be there Friday, right? I'd like to do a members get together as well. So if you're a member, hit me up in the group chat. Let's get some dinner or lunch one of these days. Over at Raleigh. SSJ Ranolf, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you. A Cosmic Cyclone is good against Fire King Island, Lab, and Stun. I think it's pretty good coverage. I think against good Fire King players, it's pretty bad though. Like usually they'll set up their board so it like they still have enough interaction to do a lot. It just depends though. Maybe I just like you could hold the Cosmic right before they do Apo play. That's frankly okay. So I think Cosmic is definitely good. I'm just saying it's not a must run anymore, which is super important because Anti-Spell is not a card. You know, Anti-Spell really forced us to run the Cosmic and Twin Twisters so that we could respond and not lose the game automatically on the spot. SSJ Roundolph, Lightning Sword plus Evilly does a good job covering back row. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like I have a pretty good... I mean, like, plus the Patchwork engine, I feel like that's pretty fine. Juan Rodriguez, I was on Perskinium because of Snake, but IDK I'll be playing it because Baron was the best revive banish. Yeah, exactly. Like, rest in peace. Baron, guys. 21 gun salute. I never thought Konami would do it. Go check out my Banlist video if you guys want to hear more of my thoughts on that. We also had a really good live stream if you guys want to see my reaction there. Thoughts on Russ, answer that. Card limits. How's it going, brother? How's it going, card limits? How you doing, my man? How you doing? What's up? Happy Monday, brother. Vosquared, first channel member in the chat. Duster this. We love Duster. I think Duster is nuts right now, especially, like I said, against the fire decks. It's really good against the stun decks, so I think that is totally fine. Raven Fairs, no vanity, okay, yeah, you guys are just doing, tokens. How's it going, no vanity? Juan Rodriguez, if you're on Nadir on the side deck, maybe it'd be better to main Nadir inside Patchwork unless you're going second build. I think that Patchwork is pretty good going first, though, right? Because it helps you play through hand traps with the poly. You're still able to make the Grand Guignol if you get impermed on the Cartesia. You're still able to poly off the Albion, make a Stapelia, and then get that in graveyard. Hope no one cooks Protos stuff. I think Protos will be used in Sword Soul and probably Sword Soul alone, but we'll see because it is searchable. I think people are a little hyping that up a bit too much, the Proto side of things. I think that the Thunder Dragon side of things is a lot more splashable. Go watch the Thunder Dragon deck profile if you haven't already to see what we're talking about there, because I think every deck could frankly be running a lot of those cards we were running in the branded Thunder Dragon deck profile to tech in Colossus into their deck, which is really broken. Also, shout out to everyone watching right now. 50 viewers right now. Really do appreciate you guys. Thank you all for retweeting the stream and also just coming through, especially you guys just hanging out here on your Monday night. Very much appreciate it. We do stream every Monday and Friday, branded content. We're here answering your questions, doing branded or learning content, of course.